And welcome back to the channel. On this video I want to talk about moped style e-bikes, or electric motorcycles as some people want to call them, including this bike right here. So this is the Lyric Graffiti X, and let's hop on and talk about whether this is an electric motorcycle or an electric bicycle. Okay, so I get lots of questions, or not so much questions, but just direct comments quite often saying that you're riding an electric motorcycle. And also, people that see the bike will say, that looks like a motorcycle. It looks like a motorcycle. But they do see the pedals on it, which I have not seen a motorcycle yet that has pedals on it, so a little bit different there. And so that's the difference. That's why this is not an electric motorcycle. First of all, motorcycles are going to go faster than this bike is going to go. This bike can touch 50 miles an hour because I've done it one time. And whether it can sustain it or not, I doubt it. I think it's going to be in the more of a 40 to 45 miles per hour for top speed, like consistently, until the battery starts to drop, of course, and then you lose that speed and it would become even slower. But yeah, this bike looks like it's the style like a motorcycle. I always think of these bikes, these moped style bikes, to me they remind me of when I was a kid. If you remember mini bikes back in the day, in the we'll say in the 70s, this reminds me, all of these bikes really, but and this one's especially that, I don't know why, but of a blown up mini bike. A mini bike for an adult. That's what this and these style of bikes remind me of, or what I think of. That person didn't even see me. Anyway, and I didn't see them. I didn't know anybody was even in that golf cart. But you gotta be careful, because just because something looks like something doesn't mean it is. Somebody, you may think, oh, that person looks like a bank robber. And they're not a bank robber. They're anything but. So you got to be careful in assuming, I guess, something that isn't what you think it is. And these bikes, in my opinion, get a bad rap. I think, here's what I think. Whether my opinion means anything or not, it probably doesn't, but I'm just going to give you my opinion anyway. So what I think it is that you get on the bike, like me here, and you're not pedaling. And I think it's more of a case of they don't like the fact that you're not pedaling more than the bike looking like a motorcycle. So if I pedaled it, it may not be so bad, but this bike is not a pedal bike. It's a one-speed. If it was going to be a true pedal bike for me, I'd want it to have gears. And this doesn't have it. And let me get by this guy here. Smiling Joe. I got to get by Smiling Joe. Here we go. Okay, so now I forget what I was talking about. I felt a raindrop. It better not rain. Anyway, so in my opinion, This is not a motorcycle. It doesn't go quite fast enough, I don't think. And it doesn't have motorcycle brakes, which I would definitely want if I was riding something like a motorcycle that would be. It doesn't have the weight. It doesn't have the same what else? Electric motorcycle is going to cost a ton more money. They're expensive if you've ever looked up, and I have. Electric motorcycles, like a Zero, for example. Yeah, they're not cheap. We're talking well north of 10 grand. But these bikes are fun, and typically a moped-style e-bike is probably going to be around 28 to 35 miles per hour. That seems to be a typical speed, and some of them go a little faster than that in off-road mode. But most of these are going to be around, up and around that 30, 35 top end. For example, I'll give you a couple of examples. So my aerial rider Grizzly, dual motor, that had a top speed of about 36 miles an hour. Also, the Lyric Graffiti original version that I have, that one has a top speed of about 36 miles an hour. It'll top out at. So those are a little slower than this bike. Like I say, this bike is going to be consistently probably in the 45-ish, 40 to 45. You're going to be able to go pretty consistent. But it has a top speed. I have touched 50. So, but like I say, I haven't replicated that again. I haven't tried to. But these bikes, what makes them fun for me is they kind of have that lower gravity, you know, they're lower to the ground, and with the smaller wheels, I think it makes the bike more stable, right? And with the big fat tires, these tires on here, they say 4-inch, but I measured them one time. I think they're closer to almost 5 inches, like 4 3/4 or something like that, with the knobby tread. But you know, I can say this, that this bike is an absolute joy to ride, whether you think it's a motorcycle, scooter, moped, electric bicycle, whichever. I like it, and 2 thumbs up on this bike. There's not much on this bike I don't like, and let me know if you are a fan of the moped-style e-bikes. I'm going to call them that anyway. And if you do you own one? And if you do, which one do you own? Or maybe you have more than one. And if you don't, are you thinking about getting one? And if so, what are you looking at to purchase? The other nice thing about this bike is full suspension. You really feel the difference on a full suspension bike. Now, I know some will say that they're too big, they're too tall for these bikes. Well, yeah, maybe, but it's got the long seat, comfortable seat. I'll say that too. This bike has a nice, comfortable seat. And so if you're a taller rider, you can just sit back further. You know, you don't have to sit up too close. I sit back further. I'm only myself 5'9", so I'm not a giant of a guy. But if you are a taller guy, like 6 feet plus, yeah, you can just sit back a little further. But yeah, this is a nice, comfortable seat. The whole bike is just fun. Let's crank it up a little bit. Got a stop sign up ahead though. You just give it a little bit of throttle and away she goes. Maybe I'll crank it up a little bit here after the stop sign, just give you a sense of what this bike has. It takes a few seconds to get going, and there she goes. You can really feel it kick in. Hugs the road really well. It's one of those things, and I've said it on my previous video, and every time I ride, especially this bike, I just don't want to get off of it. There we go. You can see how quickly it gets up to 30 miles an hour. And we got good brakes on this bike as well. I have had one accident on the bike, and it's back in one of my videos there back in the winter. I was riding it in the snow and I lost control and went down. Bike went down, no damage. I was going very slow, 8 miles an hour. 8 or 9, 8 miles an hour, I believe. And so I just kind of, you know, the bike just laid down and I laid down, kind of thing went off it. The only thing happened is my kneecap hurt a little bit, but that was about it. There was a small bruise there, very tiny, size of a penny maybe. And that was it. But there's no question about it though, this is my favorite bike to ride. It kind of, I guess, gives you the feel of a motorcycle, but it's not going to have quite the power that a motorcycle would have. You could almost say it's almost like a hybrid, like it's a halfway to a motorcycle, maybe a little piece of a motorcycle. But I'm so used to people saying that to me now that I just take it like, oh well. You know, my thing on all this is enjoy your bike, whichever it is. If it's a Class 1 commuter bike, enjoy your bike. If it's a Class 2, same thing. Class 3, just ride safe and have fun. And tell others about this e-bike phenomenon. We got to get more people on e-bikes. Big black cloud up ahead. Not enough room to get it going too fast, but the bike really feels like it wants to go today. All right, that is going to do it for this video. I just want to say that the bike was purchased as a Class 2 e-bike with off-road capabilities, and The motor, yeah, the motor is a 3,000 watt motor, but there is a switch. Takes that power down to the class 2, so it actually is a class 2 bike with capabilities for off-roading. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. And if you want to comment on this or any other video, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And I should mention, if you want to hit that bell, you can not miss a video here on my channel. So that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to be safe, everyone, because we want to see you next time. And as always, keep your wheels on the road. See you later.